Welcome back, Filmaholics. My name is Kyle Kendrick, and in this channel you find anything and everything filmmaking. So today I'm going to show you guys how to use this. It's an umbrella. It's for the rain. Oh god. No, it's a softbox. That I tricked you. And to start things off with all jokes aside, I'm going to put this in the sidelines right over here. There we go. And we're gonna be talking about what that item, the softbox, is for. A softbox is for softening or diffusing light. So best way for me to show you is to, well, here, let me just show you. And here's what it looks like with no softbox and the light just going straight at my face, just all over this face. And it's just so harsh and sharp on shadows. It's not appealing to the eye. And here we're back to how the channel usually looks, where I do use a softbox. And it allows the shadows to be more smooth and buttery, just like smack that butter, and that's what you get with these shadows. And now let's talk about the steps on how to use a softbox. Step number 1 is gonna be gear. So depending on the light that you're using is a big and key factor, honestly, on choosing a softbox. So if you can afford a COB light, you're probably gonna be using a softbox with a Bowens mount. If you're gonna be someone like me where you can't afford a COB light and you're just using a light panel, you're gonna be using an umbrella. And then if you're just using natural light, you might just be using a sheet and 2 stands. But since I'm using a light panel and not a COB light or natural light, I'm gonna be using a umbrella softbox. And step number 2 is going to be placing, specifically placing the light in the softbox. So I don't have a COB light, but those are the easiest ones to set up. It's basically a Bowens mount. You just snap it on and lock. Depending on the type of locking system and everything, it's gonna be different, but it's just the easiest and most convenient way to do it if you have the money for it. And now for natural light, you're just gonna take 2 light stands and 2 clips and clip a sheet over the whatever light source that you're gonna be using naturally, and it's just gonna diffuse it naturally to you. And now the light panel way where it has an umbrella stem. So you just put a stem through the hole and then you just screw it in and then boom, boom. Done. The big thing though is when you're placing the light inside of the umbrella is that you're gonna be facing the light towards you, not like the speed light way where you have it reflect towards the back and then out the front. That's something you don't really want to do if you're using a not that strong of a light like I am. So I prefer it pointing straight through the diffusion and towards me. That way it gets the most light and I don't have to really ask a lot from my camera. And lastly, you're going to be enclosing it inside of a diffusion shell. And the last step, step number 3, is going to be placement. And the big thing with this is that everyone's face is different, so there's going to be different methods. So I'm just going to show you mine. Personally, the way I like to do it is having it almost nearly eye level. My light, if I were to sit up straight and actually have good posture, would be eye level towards me. So since I know I slouch, I put it in that eye level. So there's that. And then I have it point slightly down, but not enough to add bags underneath my eyes to the point that it's terrible, but enough to create this shadow right here that I enjoy. So if you guys do test around and get the look that you guys want, stick with that angle every time if you're gonna be doing a talking head like this. But the big thing is right after, how you're gonna be filming it. So the reason why you're going to be changing a couple settings in your camera for this softbox is going to be the fact that you're putting something in front of the light. So it's going to be darker. The first setting isn't really going to make it brighter, but it's going to be changing the white balance. And that's because again, you're putting something in front of your light where it could have a possible tint and then make the white balance inaccurate. So use one of my old videos on how to use a gray card after putting this on, and then there you go. You'll have perfect white balance for that shot. And the next thing to change will actually make the footage brighter. So the first thing to consider is your aperture. If it's not wide open already, make it that thing wide open. Make it as least as possible in the numbers, but as big as possible in the opening so that it has the most light, and that way it'll make your footage brighter. The second thing to consider is going to be ISO. Now, with every camera, there's also different log footage and picture profiles and so many things to stack on top of that. You might have your own process and color grading. So the best way to honestly test this is, well, you gotta test it depending on the LUT pack's instructions, your own color grading instructions, and then just taking several different videos of different ISOs, different settings, and finding the one you prefer. Now, wasn't that easy? It was so easy to set up. The hardest part was just probably like getting so many shots of so many different settings, of so many ways that you want to color grade, and just testing out what you want it to look like. But other than that, with that small amount of effort, you get so much like improvement in your channel, in the look of your channel. You get so much more of an aesthetic and less of an amateur look. You get such high production value for such a small thing. And that's why I consider a softbox, or any way that you're gonna be diffusing your footage, as just one of the biggest staples and one of the biggest must-haves to really make a channel and just film. Because you'll always be using it and you'll be grateful using it. And with that being said, if you guys want to check out the lighting gear I used to make this whole look happen, go ahead and check the description down below. The links are gonna be right there at no extra cost to you guys. But if you guys end up purchasing, it does help out the channel, so there's that. Also, there's a playlist somewhere on the screen right now. If you guys want more lighting tips, go ahead and check those out. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe. And with the climate of the world the way it is right now, and with next month being Asian American Heritage Month, I have to say, #SubAsianHate.